Hello, hello, hello. I will give it a little bit of time to see if anyone is going to join us or if we are going to be in replay mode, which is totally okay too. All right. How's everybody doing? I'm going to give it just a second. I never know. It's so weird. So like I'm looking at my watch. My watch says 12:23. My monitors say 12:20. My phone says 12:23. I guess I am running a few minutes behind. Sorry about that. I aim to try to be right on time. Because I realize it's the middle of the day and people have things going on. However, if you're watching this on the replay and you are sitting on your couch scrolling, then it probably doesn't matter if I started right at 12:15 or not. But with that said, I am smack dab in the middle of my work day. And so, I dedicate generally about 30 minutes to be able to jump on here, talk to you guys. Hey, Nicole, what's up, girl? How are you? I need to catch up with you. I don't even know what's going on in your life. You need to reach out so we can catch up. But yes, so I'm going to dive in. I'm just going to get started. I am a little fired up about my topic today. And for any of you, if this is your first time watching any of these, like I really don't do a ton of research or anything like that. I honestly just kind of go with what I feel called to talk about on any given day. And so as of, 9 o'clock this morning, I didn't even know what I was going to talk to you guys about. But it's odd how it kind of happens, but things just kind of tend to bubble and surface. And then I'm like, that's what I want to talk to them about today. So what I want to talk about, and I can't remember exactly how I worded it, stop setting goals. Like, I think my little teaser was, I want you guys to stop setting goals. And that probably sounded like crazy talk because I'm the girl that comes on here all the time and says, hey, we should be setting goals. I even posted just yesterday with it being the first of the month, like, what goals? What do you want to start doing? What do you want to try differently? So I'm very much a believer in setting goals and setting intentions around what do you want to make happen in your life today, this week, this month, the rest of the year, whatever that is. So before I get started, I do also like to make sure that I'm sharing random tips and life hacks with you all. So I happened to see this morning. This has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about. But, and if y'all already knew this hack, like, shame on you for not letting me know. But so, when you have like extra grease, say you fried something. Yes, we fried things. We actually had catfish last night and it was great. But, you have your extra grease left over from bacon or anything like that. And what do you do with the grease, right? Like, everybody kind of has a different system for handling the grease. Well, I saw this little hack today, which I thought was brilliant, and I wish I would have thought of it. But basically what they do is they take aluminum foil, like a square of aluminum foil, put it in your sink, like in the drain of your sink, and line the inside of your sink. So you're basically creating like a little pocket. You pour your grease in there, and then you just let it sit and let it cool in that little pocket. And then once it's cooled, you just fold up the aluminum foil and you throw it away. I thought that was brilliant. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to dive into my topic today, which is around creating systems versus setting goals. So when I kind of teased, stop setting goals, that was only really a teaser. Like, I feel like goals are very important to have. But where the light bulb went off for me as I was kind of researching what I wanted to talk about today was um, like creating systems is really where the magic happens. So if you think about it, last week, if you saw my talk on Thursday, it was about, practicing makes progress. And what we practice repeatedly is how we grow, right? Like, it's not necessarily about coming out there and just being able to do something right off the bat. It's about the discipline it takes to practice something. In order for me to become a better fitness instructor, I have to practice. I have to create opportunities to build my endurance. I have to study. I have to learn. And so it's that discipline of practice. So that's what we talked about last week. If you didn't watch that, I would definitely go back and watch that one as well. But we're in September, which blows my mind that we've made it to September. We have 4 months left in 2020, if we're lucky. And I say if we're lucky because, like, we all know, like, what happened with Chadwick Boseman and just like his untimely passing, and just learning more about how he was maximizing his life. Um, I'm definitely not going to go down that path because that's like a whole talk in and of itself. But it just really has gotten me thinking, like, what am I doing? How am I maximizing this time that I have? Because it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed for me, you, any of us. So, I really want to kind of continue this conversation on how do we finish strong in 2020. Like, this year has been like the craziest year ever for everyone. Every single person on this planet, this year has been crazy. But we still have an opportunity to finish this year strong. And so, what are we going to do that? And so that's kind of where I've landed on this creating systems versus goals. Because I think at the beginning of the year, I mean, think about it, guys, it was 2020. Everybody was so hyped up on, 2020, I'm going to have 2020 vision. This is my year, all of that. And we all know how that story has played out so far. What I'm here to say today is that we can still hit that 2020 vision. It's just looking different for us. That's all. And so, really, what I want to talk about is shifting from these hard hitting goals that if they don't happen, we feel just defeated and deflated. Shifting from that to how do we create systems in our life that still help keep us moving forward. And so I want to kind of define, how I like to define. So a goal is a specific objective that you either achieve or don't achieve sometime in the future. So a goal is something that you are working on sometimes in the future. A system is something you do on a regular basis that increases your odds of happiness in the long run. So if you do something every day, it's a system. And so that's the shift right there. Creating things that we do every day that are going to move us forward instead of being so hung on just a single goal. Yes, Shelly, 2020 vision is very different, and that's okay. I think if I could say anything, it's like we just have to let go of what we thought 2020 was going to be, and we need to shift in terms of what we want 2020 to be. Let go and shift. So, kind of some examples. So, for me, it took a second to kind of realize the difference between a goal and a system. So, a goal is, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. That's a goal. Goals we know are SMART goals. Okay. So, they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, all of those things. Y'all know the SMART acronym for setting a SMART goal. But learning to eat right on a daily basis is a system. So losing 10 pounds is a goal, but learning to eat right, which is the means that's going to help you achieve that goal, is a system. So focusing on that system. finishing an online course is a goal. I have that goal. I'm taking an online course that I've been dragging my feet on for the last 2 months. Developing good study habits and time management is a skill. Is a system. If you want to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. to work out, that's a goal. But laying out your clothes at night, establishing a good bedtime routine, establishing a good wake up routine, that's a system that helps you meet that goal. Cleaning out your closet is a goal. Okay? Like, I probably need to do that right now. Cleaning out your closet is a goal. Determining your relationship with purchasing clothes or learning how to accessorize or learning more about how to style yourself differently, that's a system that can help you reach your goal. Anyway, I think you guys get the picture on that. So strive for systems, because creating systems, even though it may take a little more time and there's a lot more nuancing involved with creating a system over time is easier to manage versus goals sometimes can be very overwhelming, especially if we have weight loss goals. You guys, like, that's overwhelming. Like, if you say, I want to lose 30 pounds, that is so overwhelming to me. But if that was a shift in terms of, I want to create a place in my home that I can do physical activity, that's building a system. I want to watch a YouTube video a day to learn new exercises I can do at home. That's a system. That's building your system. Is this starting to make sense? If it is, let me know. But when you're focused more on building the system versus achieving the goal, then it takes a little of the pressure off, because when you're building a system, it allows you to be able to adjust. So last week I posted in the group a question, and I asked you guys, did you feel that it was harder to eat well, or was it harder to exercise? And I think overwhelmingly, without looking at the results right now, I think overwhelmingly everyone said it's more difficult to eat well. So, it got me thinking again. It's like, are we setting goals around our nutrition, or are we developing systems that are going to help us eat better? And so what does that look like? What does it look like to create a system if our goal is to have better nutritional habits, or to eat well on a more consistent basis? So we need to look at our system for shopping. How are we shopping? If we are the grocery shoppers, and I'm sure for most of us watching, like, you're the grocery shopper, you're the one that goes to the store. Are you making a list? Do you have a system of how you know what you shop for each week or each month, or however often you shop? Is it consistent with the nutritional goals that you might have in mind? Are you putting chips and cookies and soda and all of that on? Are you putting it on your list? That's part of your system, and so if that's part of your system, that might be something you need to refine. Are you shopping during a time where you've created some time to be able to do it, to be able to find the things that you need? Or are you just trying to run into the store and grab what you can because you've got to put something in the fridge? Being intentional about how and when you shop. How is your refrigerator and your cabinets organized? So if you think of your system, do you have the things that are healthy and the grab and go things? Are those in your eye level? Or do you have those buried somewhere at the bottom of the fridge or the bottom of the cabinet? So have you created systems even in your own, where you store your food, that is conducive to healthy eating? Or do you have bags of chips everywhere and cookies and sodas in the fridge and all of that? Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like your mind and what your eyes see tells your mind things. And so if you are not visually removing some of these things, they figure out a way to get into your system, literally and figuratively into your system. So the other big thing about like eating well and creating a system around eating well is, do you even have a plan? Like, are you educating yourself on the different way? There's so many different ways to lose weight. There's so many different approaches to nutrition. At the end of the day, there's the basics, right? Like, don't eat crap. Don't drink crap, and focus on foods that don't come in boxes and bags. Focus on real food, and all of those other things. Like, we can talk nutritional stuff later, but we kind of know. I think we all know what's healthy. We just haven't created a system to bring all of that into our space. So whether it's the keto diet or low carb or counting your macros, or I don't know, eating eggs every day. I don't know what your nutritional plan is, but do you have one? And is your system conducive to being successful at that? If you're kind of shifting focus to exercise, if you set a goal that I want to work out 3 or 4 days a week, and what happens if you only are able to work out 1 day that week? Like, you feel defeated, right? That goal of working out 3 to 4 days a week, and if you don't hit it, you feel like crap. You feel like you failed. Or if you happen to work out 5 days that week, you're like, I'm the bomb. Like, it can go either way. But what I'm encouraging you to do is, instead of focusing on those specific goals that literally are just achieving something in that moment in time, focus on the system. So if you want to create a system of having an active lifestyle every day that makes you feel good on most days, like, let's be real, like, not every day you're going to feel great, but on most days, then what do you need to build into your system that helps you to create an active lifestyle? Some of that, you guys, is just education, like learning about physical activity, learning about different exercises, learning how your body works and functions is is so much about how your system should operate. You need to understand how your system works, right? In order to build a system. So, learning more about exercise, feeding your mind, as opposed to just putting out numbers that you're trying to attain. So, okay. So I want you guys to hear me when I say, am I saying like, I don't want you guys to set goals, like throw all your goals away? No, absolutely not. I still believe in goals. I think goals are a great way, especially when you are using, setting good goals, smart, measurable, attainable, all of those things, timely. Like, I keep forgetting the R. Oh gosh. Anyway, but you all know the power of a goal. Like, a goal helps you set direction. A goal gives you like a North Star in terms of, yeah, like, this is what I'm shooting for. But what I'm saying is, you got to have a system in place to build that goal. Goals are great for setting direction. They can be great for motivation. They can provide us with a sense of accomplishment when we reach that goal. Like, there's no greater feeling that when you say, I want to do this, and you do it. Like, there's no greater feeling and no greater satisfaction from that. But it only changes you for the moment. Achieving a goal is only going to change you for the moment. So if you lose that 30 pounds and you achieve it, that's fantastic. And I'm sure there's things about your life that will change as a result of achieving that goal. But then what? If you don't have systems that you've built that are going to help you sustain and maintain that goal, then you're going to find yourself building, creating another goal to try to lose another 10 pounds because you gained back 20, like it becomes a cycle. And so what systems help you do is they help you progress as opposed to continuing a cycle after cycle. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, but then I gain 20. So now I got to lose 30 pounds and then I got to get, so I hope that kind of makes sense. But having strong systems just gives us a sense of progress, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off, because you guys, life is it's a journey, okay? And when we're talking about systems versus goals, like I want you to think of it as a journey versus a destination, okay? Your system is the journey, your goal is the destination, but you could have multiple destinations in your journey. Focus on practice versus performance. Your system is the practice that you do. Your performance is what helps you meet the goal. And then the other way to look at it is long-term versus short-term. Your system is your long-term commitment to what you're trying to accomplish. Your goal is the short-term means of how you're going to get there. So journey versus destination, practice versus performance, long-term versus short-term, system versus goal. Whew, y'all. Okay, so I think that kind of a couple of things that I want. One, how do you create a system? And this might be kind of a 2.0 that I do maybe on another call. But really quick, like you've got to identify your why. Like, why do you want to do this thing that you want to do? Why do you want to have this weight loss goal? Why do you want to have this nutrition goal? Why do you want to have this career goal? Why do you want to have this educational goal? Why do you want to have this relationship goal? Insert goal wherever, but you need to understand, why do you want it? And so a good way to look at that is kind of looking at your current state versus your future state. So currently, I am not working out 3 days a week. Currently, I am tired all the time. Currently, you fill in the blank to whatever your current state is. Future state, I am active most days of the week. I am committed to a regular workout program. I have energy. I feel joy on a regular basis. Like, what's the current state? What's the future state? What does that look like for you? So when you're starting to build your system, that's the first thing you've got to look at. Why are you doing this? Because you want to go from current state to future state. That's the why. Then you have to look at, okay, so I know where I am. I know where I want to go. What's all the stuff in the middle? What's the gap? How do I fill the gap? So maybe it's, and I keep going back to fitness because y'all, that's just what I know. But, maybe you need to plug into a fitness community. Maybe you need to reach out to one or two people that are going to hold you accountable, that are going to call you, text you, hey girl, where are you? Why weren't you here? Let's go. You have to kind of, if that is closing the gap, is to building that community, which I highly, highly, highly recommend, then that's what you need to do. Close the gap. Figure out what you need in your current state that's going to help you get to your future state. And that's a real conversation that you just have to have with yourself. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to even ask other people about that. Like, I think so often we try to solve our own problems. And, I think having a conversation with someone, or someone that you trust, and you say, hey, like, I'm not working out a lot, and I really want to, like, what do you think I should do? And this is coming from a person that you trust, not necessarily, don't let everybody speak into it, but somebody that you trust, that would be like, yeah, you need to start going to the gym. You need to get a gym membership. You need to join an online virtual. There's all sorts of stuff. But so yeah, identifying your why, current and future state. How do you close the gap? And then the last thing about what you want to think about when you're creating a system is how are you going to assess and reassess and refine your system? So maybe you start going to that gym and you get gung ho and you're like, burn out after 3 weeks. So maybe you pull back. Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 days a week, and then I'm going to try something different. And you're going to keep figuring out what is getting you into your sweet spot of happiness. Because again, what I said earlier, systems should bring happiness. Systems, if a good system in place, should almost feel effortless, because your body is just going to want to do it. You are going to want to do it if you built the right system. So, couple things I want to leave you guys with today, and then I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a challenge. And then I have a really awesome quote just to tie it all up in a bow. But so 2 things I want to leave you guys with today. The purpose of a goal, kind of like stripped down, the purpose of a goal is to win, right? We set a goal, we want to win. Like NBA championship teams, like they set a goal, we want to win the championship, right? We don't just want to show up. We practice every day. We've built systems, we've done all of this, but ultimately we want to win. That's the goal. Yeah, so the purpose of goals is to win the game. But the purpose of building systems is to continue to play the game and get results. So, if you just stand there looking at the scoreboard the whole time, like you're going to miss a whole lot. If you're just so focused on the goal that you miss all of the things that have to happen in order to reach the goal, it's just going to be really hard to maintain over time. So know that the purpose of a goal is to win. You want to win. But even more than wanting to win, you want to build the systems that create winners. You think about football programs, Alabama, and all these other programs that have systems in place that produce champions, because they know that the goal is to win, but they've got to create the systems to recruit the players, to watch the film, to get the right coaches and all of that. They have to build the system in order to hit the goal. The second thing is fall in love with systems, you guys. Fall in love. If you're not a system person, you need to try to embrace it a little bit more. You don't have to, and it doesn't, I mean, you do it on your time. We already innately have systems, right? We get up every morning, we brush our teeth, we wash our face, we take a shower. Some of us make a bed. That's part of our system. We have systems. Everyone has the capability to develop systems. It's how we build them and how we adjust them that helps us reach our goal. If you get complacent in your systems, guess what? You just stop moving. That's why they say you got to mix it up. You've got to change things. So yeah. 2 action items. I say action items. I'm treating this like a business meeting. 2 things I would encourage if you are either watching this now or watching this on the replay. If you have a really good system that works for you in some area of your life, and it doesn't have to be health and fitness, it doesn't have to be nutrition. It's kind of like what my life hack about putting grease in in your sink. Like if there's a system that you have that really helps you, please share that. Like either share it in the group. You can share it with me privately if you don't want your name attached to it. But, the purpose of this community is for us to learn from one another. And I think we all have different viewpoints and different things that have worked for us in the past. And I would just love for this to be a space where people share. So if you have a really good system in doing something, like please share that with us. And then also, on the other side is if you have a goal that you're trying to reach and you just don't know how to put the systems in place, like share that too. Like we can help, like I guarantee there's probably somebody that maybe had that same goal or has that same goal and may have some systems or some tips or some things that they do consistently every day that help get them towards that goal. So just encouraging you all, anyone that is watching this video, to share. Because that's how we all help each other. It's how we all inspire each other, right? We're all hustle inspired. So to close this time out, I just have a quote. If you guys have never heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, it's a great book. You should definitely look into it. But I'll leave you guys with this, and I'm going to just read this quote kind of verbatim, and I actually may post it in the group because I feel like it kind of puts the exclamation point on everything I've shared today. But that is this: the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. The long-term thinking is true long-term thinking is goal-less. In other words, if you are thinking in the long term, you're not thinking of the goals, you're thinking of the systems. True long-term thinking is goalless. Thinking is not about any single accomplishment. Again, it's about the system that you build. It is about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. So, in short, how dedicated are you to building a system that's going to help you reach your goals? If you want to be healthier, are you willing to build a system and put the time and effort to build a system that's going to help you be successful? Goals are amazing, y'all. Goals light me up. Like, I love a good goal. That's why I'm always asking you guys, like, what are your goals? But where the magic of reaching and hitting those goals is how are you building your systems that are going to hold you up when maybe the goal, you don't quite hit the mark, right? You don't win every game, but you're still in the game if you've got a system that's going to keep moving you forward. So that is all I have to say. Thank y'all for watching. Please post some comments. Give me some feedback, y'all. Like, I want to know if these conversations are helpful to you. If there's anything that I said that resonated with you, like, type it in the comments. Let me know. I'm a big girl. I can handle feedback. If you're like, Sylvia, this is a waste of my time. Like, I'm really not getting anything out of this. Like, I want to hear that as well, because I definitely feel called to be able to kind of share these open dialogues with you guys, just based on conversations that I've been having with people over time. It's like there's so much that we don't talk about. And I just want this to be a place where we talk about those things and that people feel safe to share, whatever it is that either is holding them back or, it's just kind of creating this like feeling of being stuck, because, I've been there. I have been there. Trust me, I've been there. If you saw, this past week, I was interviewed for a podcast, the I Am Unbreakable podcast. A really good friend of mine launched her podcast a couple weeks ago and asked me to be a guest. And I share a lot about my story and where I've been, and when things got really hard, and what I did during those times. And so, goal setting was very important to me. Having a vision of where I wanted to be was very important to me. And I didn't realize it, or I didn't really call it that at the time, but I think I was building systems that were going to help me be successful and help me get through those times. So if you haven't watched that podcast, I would love for you to. It's about 45 minutes long, so put it on some headphones while you're folding laundry. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a really good day. Shelly, part of your system was to delegate. Yes, delegation is huge, guys. We weren't put on this planet to do it all. Like, if that was the case, then why are we all here? If it only takes one of us, why are we all here? We need each other. We need to have people that we can rely on to help us build systems, to help us execute our own systems. I wouldn't be able to work out and teach classes and focus on my nutrition if I didn't have systems that I've created with my husband and my son, and the people that are a part of my fitness community. Like, we all have to build these systems in order to help each other succeed. And we all have to hold each other accountable to those systems. So, yeah, okay. I'm like 35 minutes in, and I really try to keep these at 30 minutes. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. Love yourself. My new shirt. I'm obsessed. Bye, y'all.